Hey guys, Bup's back on the sauce. So I logged in today. I got a lot of work done between the two episodes. As you see out there, I started building a little house to get out of our little hidey hole here. The turtle finished up. He got a ton of supplies. There's a whole bunch more down there, but that's what we got on us for right now. Logged in to do the episode. I walked out and we got griefed. Now, not a big deal. We had just started out. I mean, I built this house. You guys didn't even. I built it around the farm. I was gonna remove that later, but I had a whole house set up over here. It was pretty good size. It was nice, something to put all of our furnaces and all of our stuff in to get going till we built something massive. But someone must have come along and didn't like it. So I talked to one of the mods on here, and he said no big deal. They got protection on. They could roll it all back whenever. I said, don't worry about it. We had just got started, but I think we learned a good lesson here. Let's not set up so close to spawn. So you guys probably saw I got some wings on. The mod gave me this ring here from Extra Utilities, the angel ring. I'm sure you guys know that. So we can fly around. We're not going to keep it. It's kind of cheaty. We didn't earn it. But what we're going to do is we're going to fly far, far away from here, from the spawn that's down there. We're going somewhere where people aren't going to find us. Nobody's coming over to visit unless we invite them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly away. Where are we? We're at -800, positive 627. We're going at least, 10,000 blocks away. Somewhere that nobody's going to find us. Did I just take a screenshot? Oops. So we're headed out. I'm going to fly away. I'm going to find another land like this, somewhere pretty flat with some good stuff around. And it may take a while, but once I get over there, I'm not going to go through the whole startup process again on camera. I'll just build up a little house. I'll get a couple of furnaces going, alloy smelters, that kind of stuff. I brought out a turtle. I'm going to bring some of the supplies he got so we won't be dead in the water. And I'm going to get some stuff set up. And then we'll start some real mod sauce. So I'll see you when I get there. So here we are. Far, far, far away from the spawn and all the misery that could come of it. No, it wasn't really that bad. Built ourselves a nice little starter house. Got a little bed over here. Some furnaces going, some crafting tables. This is ready for our next project here that I'll show you in just a minute what we're going to be doing. But the area, pretty cool. Kind of simple over here. We'll be checking that out in the coming time here. Nice little cove area, little backyard, kind of quiet over here. Looks like it could be some fun. But other than that, let's head into the mining world and see what we've been doing. The turtle has been going nuts. Look at this hole that he's dug. Oh, it's still loading. Straight down to bedrock. And he's still chomping away at some more over there. I don't know if you guys can see that through the camera here. Not all these chests are full. That's a lot of chests. We didn't get that much stuff, but we got a good amount. But it takes a ton of charcoal to keep this guy powered. I mean, I've been up nights chopping trees down just to keep this guy going. So we have got to come up with a better way. So what we're going to do, we're going to use some MineFactory reloaded machines. We're going to go with a planter and a harvester. So I got the planter right up here. It's pretty simple. Piston, machine frame, some copper gears, redstone reception coil. Copper gears, just copper around some iron. You guys probably know most of this stuff. Gold and a little bit of redstone or colored stone here for the receptor coil. Pretty simple to make, regular pistons. These plastic sheets are just 4 pieces of plastic, which is just rubber from the rubber trees that we've seen. Tin gear, some iron, some glass. Pretty simple machine to make the planter here. The harvester, this one kind of confused me a little bit. The recipe for this takes, some gold gears, that's simple, same machine frame, plastic sheets, shears, we know how to do that. Then these Invar axes, that is a conundrum to me. So Invar, I looked this up. How do we make this? Smelting Invar blend. Okay, that doesn't do us any good. This Invar blend, how do we get Invar itself? Well, here you go. Iron and nickel or ferrous ingot in an induction smelter. Okay, sure, you know. So, induction smelter. And for some reason we just flipped over to full screen. So, induction smelter. What's that all about? For some reason it gave us the resonant one. Whatever. Okay, so it's going to flip. So, to make an induction smelter, to make NVAR, you need NVAR. I was baffled. I don't know what kind of game design that is, that you have to rely on another, and this is thermal expansion, so I don't know what thermal expansion machine can make the NVAR so that you can get an induction smelter to make more NVAR. But if you go outside of it, go into here, you get the alloy smelter, and that's from Ender.io. Yeah, you gotta throw an O into alloy. And this is pretty simple. We got 3 furnaces, typical cauldron, some iron, and this machine chassis, which is just iron bars, iron, and this basic capacitor, which is just copper, gold, redstone. Pretty simple. So we're going to make up these machines here, and we're going to get ourselves the planters and harvesters. Now these things use electricity, power, whatever you want to call it. EU, MJs, RTs, that, whatever it is, I don't know. No, redstone flux, RF, that's the one, RF. So we got to get ourselves some simple power, and I think how we're going to do that is with these solar panels here. These things are really cheap to make. Don't, you know, generation 2, so that's 2 per tick. I think this runs on the redstone flux. So by no means does it make a lot of power, but all it is, look, it's just wood, any kind of wood here, a little bit of redstone in the middle, and these 3 mirrors. Mirrors are just glass and iron. 2 mirrors. So these are really cheap to make. I think we're just going to use these to power our stuff to start off. I know we got the free lava we talked about before from the pump, but we're not going to get into that whole setup. We just need something simple so we can make these machines, get the charcoal automated. Well, that'll make the raw wood collection automated, and then we'll just find a way. We'll feed it into a furnace, we'll feed it back out, and we'll just have a chest accumulating charcoal for us while we work on other things around the base, and that will keep our turtle powered, which will keep stuff coming in until we move on. We are eventually going to go to a better way to quarry out this world. But for now, the turtle, we already have him. Really not that hard, and the planter is going to come in use later on to make a lot of other stuff. So let me get some of these supplies ready. We'll craft them up, and then we'll get it all set up. So just give me a moment to prepare all the supplies, make sure I have everything, get everything together. You guys probably don't want to watch me dig through all these chests for all the supplies we need. I got some of it smelting in the other world. I'll meet you back once everything's all prepared and ready to go. And just a moment later, here we are. We've got planter, 1, harvester, got our NVAR going with the alloy smelter over there. We'll see that in a second. Solar panel 1, that'll run the planter. And from what I remember, the harvester uses a lot more energy, so we got a solar panel 2. I can't remember, I think one of them uses a lot more than the other, so we'll put the right solar panel on that one. And then we got a couple of bronze range extenders, because we had the alloy smelter, so bronze was easy to get. The other upgrades are a little out of our price range right now. Lapis would have been easy, tin's easy, iron's easy, copper would have been easy. Bronze was easy with the alloy smelter, like I said. Silver, a little expensive. I can't remember what silver's really used for. We don't have a lot of it, so I just settled with the bronze after that. Gold and quartz, we don't have any yet. Haven't been to the nether. Diamond, platinum, emerald. We weren't going to mess with any of that. So we'll make good use out of the bronze here. The alloy smelter, like I said, right here, it's slowly filling up with power. It took forever to make the stuff in here because all we have is a solar panel 1 hanging off the back of it. But that's fine. It'll slowly fill up on its own here, and when we need it, it'll have enough power. We'll get the power situated later on. That'll be maybe in the next episode or something. We'll work on a better power source. But for now, did I take everything out of here? Yeah, I did. Got it all right here. Let's head back over into the mining world. So the reason we're going to do this in the mining world is, first of all, that's where the turtle is, so that's going to make it easy. But it's always daytime here, so things are just going to naturally be growing all the time. Oh, and I didn't show you either before. I have a nice little chunk loader here. Just doing 6 chunks. I might even turn that down a little bit. I don't know how many chunks we're using right now. Really not many. And I don't want to contribute to the lag on the server. So we'll get that situated, but let's just, well, we have a bunch of trees here. Oh, we gotta get outside. See, I didn't think of that. Alright, so the solar panel needs to be in the sun. So what is the last one? This cell that I'm on needs to be in the sun. So that's where we'll put the solar panel there. Let's get a chest before we get going, or else he's just going to spit his stuff all over the place. I think one of these is empty, right? Nope. The ones down here are the ones that did not get filled. I thought. Maybe it's this end. Yeah, this end. Okay. So as you see, we got a good amount of stuff. Alright. So we've got the chest here. We'll plop down our harvester. And can the chest be on just any side? Does it have to be on the top? Or we'll put it on the top. If we have to adjust it, we will. Probably can't reach these trees until we get our upgrade card in there. And let's see. I hear it cutting something. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So it is working. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's see what happened. Yeah, okay, so it did chop down a little. Oh, it looks like it's slowly adding saplings in here. So I guess it takes the leaves first. I don't really know the order that it goes in, but clearly it is working. It is putting stuff into the chest on the top, so that's perfect. So what is the natural range on this? I believe, maybe we should have checked that. But our range extender, that's given us an increase of 5. So let's just, if it started at 1, which would have just been 1 ring around it, 9 cells. If we went out 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually that works out perfect, that it's right on the portal. But we're going to end up moving it down a couple of cells just to give us a little bit of breathing room. So let's put the planter right in the ground here. The planter has to be one cell below, or 2. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so it's got to be 2 below, like that. And then since we're not doing crops or whatever, we can just put the solar panel right on top of that. Except we should have put the upgrade card in there first. There we go. So we can just put the solar panel right on top. Right now it's really not going to do anything because we can punch through. Alright, so we'll get it some sunlight, 100% efficiency, so that'll slowly charge up. And then we'll get the saplings in there. See what I didn't anticipate. The tree leaves are going to constantly be blocking the solar panels from getting any sort of power. But, okay, yeah, there is. So there's the grid on here. I think we're going to do rubber sapling in one quadrant. We don't want it to consume the stack. So we're going to put that off. Yep, we can hear that going. Alright, so the quadrants, yeah, see, we'll just figure this out right on camera so you guys can see. So the green quadrant is there, so it's sort of, let's get the right perspective on us. I have a shovel, I don't know why I'm punching sand. So if we're standing here, ahead of us, green quadrant, so now we're looking the right way. So let's do, actually, the trees and stuff. Let's pull these up. We're going to do, we want the stuff behind us. We want the front of it, the portal stuff. The trees we'll do in the back, and stuff near the portal. We'll do smaller stuff, maybe some food crops or whatever. So consume stack. That's if you wanted to use everything in here. Otherwise, it keeps one inventory slot so that it's going to be able to accept more saplings as they go. So that's what we're going to use. We'll do. We'll keep this one open, and hopefully that should keep the foliage off of the solar panels, because that's the one right in the middle. That's going to be the cells directly surrounding this. It'll just give us a better chance of there not being leaves overgrowing, and thus cutting the power away from our solar panel. I think we're going to do mostly oak, because for now, I mean, we've just been eating apples, so we may as well just have an apple source going for us by using the trees. I just did birch here, because when you're manually cutting it down, birch just grows straight up. It was just a whole lot easier than the oak trees that grow tall and you gotta pillar up to get to them. And it was just more hassle than it was worth for really no advantage. This thing's working really slow. Okay, yeah, see, it's using all the power constantly that it's got. So we might have to upgrade this even past the solar panel too, because this is running 100% efficiency, and as you see, it's draining the power. But that is going to be our struggle early on, is have enough power to run machines to get things going the way we want. That's playing the game. So now that that is situated, we'll leave that open. We'll do that, and I think we're just gonna move this right over here. We're not even gonna worry about these birch trees. We'll pull these down ourselves later, or keep them for scenery, whatever. So our harvester, just gonna go right there. Throw our solar panel right on top of it. We'll put our chest. How do we want to do this? Can the chest go off to the side? We're going to test that out. Because the next thing we're going to want to do is run the output around and into furnaces and filter things out. We want to throw the saplings back into the planter, which we've cut off our access to. Huh. Don't worry, guys. We'll get this all figured out. Okay, so there's the planter. We can pull stuff out of the chest once we figure out if it pulls down. So let's just put that in there. Also, we have this sludge building up. So I think there's a sludge. This here, sludge boiler. Sludge boiler will let's see, iron, gear, redstone. Okay, so this is cheap to make, and it boils off the sludge, which helps the efficiency of the machine. I think maybe it might use less electricity or something, and it works faster. And it also gives us like sand and clay, I think maybe some soul sand, just as a byproduct of reducing that sludge down. So that's just a way to get some extra stuff. Sand is good. There's not sand in this mining world, which I think is going to end up being a problem. So we're going to have to figure out some sort of sand situation. I'm sure there's something, I haven't looked into it yet. But we'll figure out a sand situation, some way to get us some. Didn't I tell these to plant out back? That's right. Okay. Another screw up. So when you have an open one, it just plants whatever is in here. Now we've got them all filled up, it's only going to plant in these quadrants. Maybe we'll get some like carrots, potatoes, wheat, something like that to go into the other ones later on. But for right now, we've got that. It'll chop down these trees that it planted and it'll replant them, so I'm not worried about it as of now. But I am wondering why this isn't doing anything now. We've got the range increase in there, and it's filling up on power, and now it doesn't want to chop anything. Does it not like the chest there? Does the chest have to be on the side? I mean, on the top? I don't know. Let's reconfigure. Let's put the solar panel there. Let's move the chest on top. Now, do you want to do anything? Still full of power. Not filling the chest up. It's been a while since I've used some of these mods, and I don't remember all the intricacies of them. So this might take us a little bit to get set up properly, but that's alright. Let's pretend that it's set up properly and move on to the next piece of it, which is going to be grabbing one of these furnaces and putting it. So this is the front edge of its range, I guess. I'm assuming that's why it stopped there. So a couple out from there. We're going to actually going to put it up in the air a little bit, because we'll be doing some things underneath it and whatever else. Pull items in, push items out. We'll get some pipes. Actually, the pipes are in use. So more, which is cooking up some cobble to get some smooth stone and what else? Pipe. Yeah, stone slabs, glass, redstone. Give us 8 pipes. So what we're going to do, I'll tell you the plan here, and then I'm just going to do it off camera because it's going to take a minute to get that. I got to go find some sand in the overworld and figure out why this isn't working. So what we're going to do, we have the harvester here. We're going to figure out how to get it to spit stuff back up into that chest. We're going to have a transfer node pulling the stuff out of the chest, and a pipe, a sorting pipe, we're going to use to go into the planter. So the sorting pipe checks the inventory of what it's going into, and right now we have got the saplings, the 2 different saplings, rubber and oak, in here. So it's going to see that there's rubber and oak saplings in there, and any rubber or oak that comes, it's going to push them right into this inventory. Anything that's not rubber or oak sapling, it's going to send along the pipe. So that's going to come out down here. We're going to have one chest that's just over here. It's going to have the apples in it, and the only other thing that's going to get collected is the logs. And then we're going to feed the logs right into a furnace. That's going to get smelted up. We'll have our charcoal in there. It's going to output charcoal here from the bottom, typical thing. Maybe we'll use a hopper, maybe we'll use a transfer node because, you know, we are in modded. We'll pull out the charcoal, and then we'll just have a charcoal chest sitting over here filling up, and it'll also feed the charcoal back into it to use as fuel for burning more logs as they come in. And that's going to just be an automatic charcoal factory for us, which as a byproduct is also going to produce apples. And then once we get the sludge boiler hooked up too, it's going to also give us sand and clay and all those other little goodies that come in handy. So let me troubleshoot this, let me get the pipes built, and once I've got it up and running, I will come back in so you guys can take a look at it, and we'll have our first real automated machine setup. Excited about that, guys, and voila, here's our setup. So we made the sludge boiler. It's cooking down the sludge, still trying to catch up. The harvester still maxed out. Definitely gonna have to work on more power. That'll be the next episode. We're gonna have to figure out a power situation, what we can generate. Now that we have a charcoal factory, I know there's some things that you can use that'll burn the charcoal off and create energy. So maybe we'll do that, and we'll pipe it into these machines over here because the solar panels just really aren't keeping up with anything except the planter. I've shut this off. We're getting poisoned by the sludge boiler. I've shut the planter off just so it can catch up and I can sort of see how far behind we are in power, but it's doing a strange thing. All these trees that I had planted over here to do manually, somehow, I guess because they were all interconnected by their leaves, it's seeing it as one structure, and although it's way outside of its range, it's still able to harvest them. So I'm not really sure. I guess the way that it defines a tree by the cluster or whatever it is, and it's harvesting everything. So that's good. I mean, I was going to just do those manually anyways, but now we don't have to. So I shut off the planter. I'm going to let it just clear cut everything in here, and then have it start planting in just in the area that it can and see what can keep up. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the oak trees, because the big oak trees that kind of have these branches that overreach, and then it was covering up the solar panels, and I've had to get up there and knock a lot of it down. So we might just do the birch until we upgrade the power situation. But either way, so what I've got here, let me open this up a little bit so I can see what's going on. I made some of these filter pipes. So they've got an interface. They have the different color codes as you see. I haven't gone in every direction, but you know, if you shoot off the top, now it's going to create a white one, and off the side, whatever. You go in here, and this only allows the birch wood and the oak wood through the yellow and the black outputs, which yellow, black, they loop together here, and I've got them fed over, and they're just feeding straight up and into the furnace. Everything that comes through here that's not oak wood or birch wood is going to flow right through back up here and into this chest, which most of the stuff from the sludge boiler is coming through there, and then some apples. So as you see, we are getting some sand, some clay, some dirt, some gravel. Some of it's useful, some of it, whatever. Always nice to collect goodies. Maybe we'll use them later on. Let's take a better look at this. So all the raw wood is coming up this pipe here, feeding into the top of the furnace, which is what we've got going right here. Comes out into a hopper, spits into the gold chest. Don't have any in there because gold chest has the transfer node on top, picks up everything out of it, which is just going to be charcoal, feeds it back into the fuel slot. Actually, look, we just hit the 64 in here, so let's watch this one drop out. And it's going to go in the cycle. It drops out, pulls out by the hopper, feeds into the gold chest, up into the transfer node. Now it's just going to sit in here, and slowly this is going to build up to 64, and then this chest will start filling. So this should happen pretty quick. I mean, it's I should probably put a buffer in here, but I just didn't want to start making other hoppers or transfer nodes. They just fed directly into it. So what's happening right now is there's oak wood in here. So now if we look at the chest in here, I used one chest for the harvester and for the sludge boiler because I only had the one transfer node, and they're expensive right now for the supplies we have, so we're just really trying to cut it as short as we can. So what's happening is now there's birch wood that's stuck in here because the birch wood's going through this filter pipe. It's going through the yellow and feeding up in here, and it wants to feed into the furnace, but right now the furnace is full with oak wood, can't stack on top of it, so it's just clogging up the transfer node. But we've got a pretty big overflow chest in here, and there's only so many different items that pop in here, so I don't think long term it's going to be an issue, especially once this thing finally can catch up. I don't think that'll be a problem. If it is, then we'll figure something else out. It's really just a temporary fix anyways, the way I've got it set up. I really don't intend on keeping it that way, but I just wanted to get up and functional and start making some charcoal so that our turtle can get back to work. He already had to freeze and wait a little bit through some of the charcoal in there while I was waiting, but now we've got supplies. We've got another furnace over here just for smelting up some of the metals that we need to build. So I took the water down here, and you can see him just dropping down in there. He must have just dropped off a load of stuff. Now he's continuing to cut through. What I like to do, if you look into these chests here, we've got a whole bunch of obsidian, because what I make sure happens when the turtle is going, I blocked it up so that you could see it better, but you know, there just happened to have been a lake here. Otherwise I'll grab a bucket and I'll put a source block of water just off to the side, and I like to let it pour into here, because now it's going to pour down through here, which is going to make sure the turtle is always underwater. So when it gets to lava, the lava is going to hit the water and turn into obsidian, and that's a great way for us to harvest up some of the obsidian, which this one hasn't got down there yet far enough, but earlier I had the same thing going on, and you know, instead of it just leaving the lava in here because the turtle can't collect liquids, now it just picks up tons and tons of obsidian, which is always useful. That's the way I like to set them up. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble now, and most of you probably know that already anyways. So, put a block under there, make it look a little better. I guess that's going to wrap up this episode. Next episode, we are definitely going to get into better power supplies, try to speed up this entire process so that this thing can just zip right through the trees. We don't have to worry about them overhanging the planter and harvester. We can utilize its full area and just get absolute loads and loads of charcoal. Let's see, this is already built up to 12, so it's doing a pretty good job, but we want it better. And then what we're going to have to do is we're going to upgrade this furnace, because in here we've got better furnaces, which gives us the iron, gold, diamond, hell furnace, extreme furnace, and some upgrades. We're going to get into that next episode along with an upgraded power supply, and we're really going to start cranking things out. Then we're going to work a little bit in the overworld. We're going to move on from that house, and we're going to start building a big time base to house all of the awesome things that are going to come in this series. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment on the videos. If you got any suggestions for me, throw them down in there. I'll read them. I'll read your comments on the next episode, and I'll do what you guys are asking for. So thanks for watching. See you next time.